Hey guys, it's DJI Power here. Today we are finally doing the Kraken. Oh shit, okay, that could have been really bad. We are doing the Kraken V1. It's a first production. Right there. Alright, V1 Kraken to the clone Kraken. These are both the Tanto. So, you know, they're actually more similar than if I did like the Bowie to the Tanto or the Trainer to the Tanto. So, alright. Let's start with tolerances because that's just easy to go over. Alright, and here's the clone. So actually pretty similar tolerances. This has a teeny tiny bit of tap if you like really shake it. Still smooth. And then the real Kraken. Alright, so they have pretty good tolerances, pretty good swing. The clone obviously has that teeny tiny bit more of tap in it. Not too bad though. Here's a sound comparison. And here's the real Kraken. Alright, so obviously the real Kraken does sound better. That's just undeniable. If you think the clone Kraken sounds better, you know. Like, it's not bad, but it definitely doesn't have that same clack to it. Now, when it comes to balance, they're both extremely similar. So they both can do the exact same tricks, right? They both have a very similar balance. When it comes to overall feel though, it's kind of hard to say. The clone is technically more grippy, but the reason it feels like that is because it's more blocky. It's easier to really grip on for those, you know, rollovers and stuff like that. But, you know, the real Kraken is obviously more chamfered, even if you just look at, you know, handle shape, right? The clone is more rectangular, the Kraken is more square, but has that chamfer to the, you know, edges. And that's not to say that the corners are sharp on the clone, because they aren't. They are perfectly fine, you know. But, I don't know, it's actually kind of hard to say. The clone has basically the exact same balance, right? The only difference is the handle shape, right? Both of them have that exact same basic style of flipping, you know. It'll do pretty much anything you want at any speed you desire. If you want to flip slower, right, like as I'm doing right now, it'll carry enough momentum to allow you to do that, right? If I want to do a heavy rollover style, right, then it'll allow for that, right? Very momentum-based flipping, it can do that, but it can also do fast-paced fanning, which is something that the Kraken can also do, where it can do that slow, momentum-based, you know, easy for transferring, and ability to look smooth while also being kind of slow and methodical. But it can also be super fast and, you know, do a lot of quick fanning. So it's like these both have the same energy to them and the exact same, not feel, but how do I put this? It's not like the feel to it, but like the overall style that it encourages is the exact same idea, where it doesn't encourage any and more so lets you kind of go at your own pace. It's a very friendly flipper. You know, they both are. The problem is that leads to it being a bit boring. And they're both like that, right? And they're both, like, the real Kraken is better at fanning than the clone Kraken. But the clone Kraken is better at rollovers than the real Kraken. Because they're the exact same, but the difference is the handle shape, which encourages different styles of tricks and flipping. And that can be the ultimate decider here, right? Now, of course, take into consideration, you know, the tolerances. The tolerances on the Kraken clone are still extremely good for $50. Obviously, yeah, it has that slight amount of tap, but I guarantee if I swapped out the bushings, it'd be much better, right? I could probably find an oversized one in the other two. And even if I can probably find one that's a little more perfect than the one that's in there now. And this one got like this just by, you know, proper like washer tuning, which is just tightening to the max that you can, which is fine. And for the price point, I expect that. What I didn't expect was the bite handle would be perfect. It's just the safe handle that's very slightly off, which is okay. But when it comes down to that, I don't really know if I can say that the Kraken, like the real Kraken, is worth it compared to the clone. Oh, that could have been really bad too. Yeah, it sounds nicer. Yeah, it has a bit better quality. But does that make up for the $200 discrepancy? I don't know. It's hard to say. I think this is one of those cases where you really put it as, if you have the money, go for the real deal. And obviously, if you have the money, you're not really concerned about price to performance, you're just worrying about performance. And if you're going that direction, then yeah, the real Kraken's your way to go. But if we're talking price to performance and you're really focusing on the value of your knife comparative to how much it's worth, the clone's the way to go. This thing performs way too well for it to be $45. And the light blade has slightly worse tolerances than the trainer, but honestly, it's still worth it. And it does have the exact same balance as a real Kraken. That's the thing that really kills me. These have the exact same balance. It's a little crazy. Tank shape is a bit different. Blade shape is pretty much the exact same. I'd say maybe the clone is a bit thicker. Looks like it, I think. Yeah. Like a little thicker. Like as in like, I guess height would be here. But I mean, tank shape is a little different too. But as a flipper, they have the exact same balance. If you're looking to itch that kraken, like that crack addiction, right? If you're itching to like feel what a kraken is like, right, and you really want that kraken experience, get a clone, sand the sides down to make it more flush, right, and make it like a more seamless transition to the sides of the handles. Not too much though, like a decent amount, like not too much, right? If you did that, this would be a kraken. And if the handles didn't taper as much. Because these do taper a little bit. Like thinner to wider. The real kraken does not, they're pretty much like straight, but doesn't change the point. These are very similar flippers. I'll say it again, if you have the money, go for the real kraken, just because it does perform better, even if slight. And if you have the money, once again, you're not really looking for that price to performance, especially being in an expensive hobby like this. But if you are looking for that price to performance and you're really tight on a budget, or even if you're not tight and you're just looking to, you know, save your money, kraken clone is your way to go. I would say either go for the trainer or the Tanto. Don't go for the Bowie. I'm not a big fan of the Bowie. It's a bit too much, or not too much, but it's just handle bias compared to Slight Blade, which I prefer Slight Blade. But even this isn't much like Slight Blade. Like if you look, it doesn't. It stops pretty much right at the middle. Alright, so, you know, very similar. But, yeah, I mean, that's about it. That covers all bases. Oh, really quick. The pattern for the handle texture, I don't know how well you can see the kraken clone, but those are different. So, it's not like it matters though, you can't really feel them, as I said in the kraken clone review. Even with the real kraken, you can't really feel it. Like my finger is sliding up way too easy. Same for this guy, right? It's not a whole lot of grip, but, you know, that's about it. Obviously, if you have your questions, leave them in the comments or DM me on Instagram. Be like another like 7 parasites in my DMs on Instagram. It'd be like that. I'm okay with it. Is it annoying sometimes? Yeah, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. It's like being like a walking encyclopedia for clones and just bally knowledge, which is kind of epic in gaming, I think. So, you know, that's about it. If you hate this video, then good. That's what I want you to do. I hope you hated it. Fuck you. If you're a Squid fanboy, you should fuck right on off. If you're a BRS fanboy, do the same. If you're from Reddit, specifically r/balisong, then you could die, because you're just not wanted. Your opinion sucks. You're like the base Redditor, except for the Bally community. If you're from balisong clones, you're pretty much clueless, and that's okay. Yeah, that's about it. See ya.